Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and let me take the focus from David Hasselhoff there. Today's episode is The Christmas Consultant, starring David Hasselhoff. Yes, Michael Knight from Knight Rider, and many other things, but, I grew up on Knight Rider. So that's who he is, Michael Knight. So this is from 2012. It's an hour and 27 minutes long. It is... You know how they put out all the Christmas movies and they're usually romances and everything else. This is not one of those. This is not one of those standard formulaic ones like we've done a few already, like the Once Upon a Main Street and the, what did they have the other day? I've already forgotten it. The Christmas catastrophe, I don't know. Something with people falling in love at a mall. Anyway, this is a different type of story, but it's a story technically we've heard before, just with David Hasselhoff. It stars Carolyn Ray, the comedian. She's done a bunch of stuff. She's a stand-up comedian, first of all, and then she's done a bunch of different TV shows over the years. She and her husband, played by Barclay Hope, it's Maya and Jack. They have a house full of 3 kids. And they have a family who's coming for Christmas. And they also, Maya, she has a pretty hectic job. And this is one of those movies where it's what's more important, family or work, and trying to balance all that. And of course, there's a thing where of course, the big deal has to get signed for some reason on Christmas Eve. Okay, I live in LA, and I'm pretty sure everybody's checked out like a good week before Christmas in most cases. They've usually left town by then in nearly every case. All the traffic that starts pouring out of here or into here, depending on which way you're going. Like, oh, is Christmas on a Monday? Well, geez, I think we'll just, I don't know, take off the Wednesday before and then not come back to work until the new year. Maybe it doesn't work in whatever town this takes place in, but apparently they're a big enough company that they can, I don't even know what they make. I think perfumes or something? I don't know, but they brought in a Russian representative who they want to get his sign off to make a deal so they can sell his perfume or something. And it'll change the company. And she's got a boss that's riding her butt, just telling her, you got to do this, sign this, get all this paperwork done, get these reports done, get all the stats and blah, 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 blah. And so Carolyn Ray, Maya, realizes she's got to get a lot done before Christmas. And so I think it's her husband who brings it to her, finds out about this guy who is the Christmas consultant, who can, he subcontracts, sort of takes on the work of Christmas to lighten things up for you, so you don't have as much to do, and he's expensive, but he's supposedly worth it. He'll save you money, and also take care of every little detail. Every little obsessive detail that you might not even have thought of. And a lot of us could use that during the holidays. I do not doubt that. Imagine just having the weight lifted off your shoulders. Don't worry about cooking or organizing the family or getting the decorations up or managing fights between different family members who don't necessarily get along well. Well, he can do it all. And that's David Hasselhoff. He plays Owen. So, is that the name of the elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I think it was. I could be wrong. Anyway, he is brought in, of course. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have a movie, and I wouldn't be talking about this right now. They bring him in to deal with everything. And okay, the first instinct when you watch a movie like this, when you bring a stranger into a home full of people, this sounds like the setup for a horror film, where he maybe takes them all captive or maybe kills them off one by one. No, this is not it. This is on the Disney Channel. So even if this was a Lifetime movie, which, yes, it's a Lifetime movie. So even though it's a Lifetime movie, Christmas movie, you still get the feeling that he's got something to hide. That, like, when's the other shoe going to drop? The shoe gets dropped at some point, but not as early as you think. But you can sort of see it coming. Again, Christmas movies cannot be too unpredictable, otherwise people get upset. And the last thing anybody wants to do at Christmas time is get more upset. And so as long as things kind of go smooth and things work out in the end, cool. Don't surprise me. Don't mess with my head. And as long as you get to feel sympathy for somebody else who's less fortunate than you, or maybe you see a character that you can empathize with, such as Maya, who is just stressed and overworked and wants to be part of Christmas, wants to do everything she can, but is sort of, even though she's handed it over, has her role usurped by Owen, who does everything pretty much perfectly. So this is the gist of the entire thing, and I'm not really ruining the story, overall story itself, but Maya kind of feels neglected for neglecting the family during Christmas. She's always at her computer, always dealing with stuff, while it's Owen who helps the oldest daughter deal with the maybe kind of getting to talk to the cute boy she really likes, or the son dealing with the bully, or the little girl dealing with her very her emotional issues. Let's just call it that. She has a hard time connecting with people. She's 6, but she's very shy. She's very disconnected. And if there's anybody who is emotionally available and just very and energetic, it is David Hasselhoff. It is Owen. He plays a character that, honestly, we as Americans or the Germans probably have never seen before. Yeah, he's a little bit goofy in the Guardians of the Galaxy, music video and everything else, and he's done a lot of just goofy stuff over the years. He's got a sense of humor, not just in general, but about himself. And this, he gets to reach almost Jim Carrey levels of just craziness. Now, Jim would have probably crawled out of a reindeer's butt, but in this case, that is not necessary. But in this case, he is very in your face, very, and it's funny. Carolyn Ray's responses to his over the topness, at her sort of just keep it together kind of thing. That's where the comedy comes from, the structure, and she gets sarcastic about certain things because she's bitter. She is unsettled by a lot of this, and he's getting the credit for a lot of the stuff that she normally would get to do, but she's missing out on a lot. So she's bitter. There is a good, funny movie to this. I just feel like in the very last act, and without spoiling it, feels like they had a rewrite. Like something about the ending didn't work, and when things kind of snap, it gets. I gotta be very careful here. Things fall apart on Christmas Eve, and like everything that's on the line. The family getting together, the family communicating, friends over for the party, and the Russian guy, and the deal, and dealing with Owen, and just everything just reaches a fever pitch for Maya and falls apart in a way that is kind of ugly. I think it's done in a way that's meant to be funny, but you gotta kind of go, oh, you know what, Maya, I get it. You know what? I really get it. I understand why you're really upset. But in the end, she's apologizing to everybody else. Yeah, I just spoiled it there. And of course, everything at the very end is just wrapped up neatly with a little bow. Because she's the bad guy. And yeah, in her own mind, she's even the bad guy from the very beginning, because she's not dealing with, spending her time with the family as she should, and putting the work before everything else. Yeah, she understands that, but it's still, in the end, empathy resolves the problem. Everybody gets along, and everything works out nice, and there even ends in a freeze frame moment, which honestly, this whole last like few minutes of the film, it feels like a parody of that type of film. So yeah, it's not good. Let's just say that. I enjoyed David Hasselhoff and Carolyn Ray's performances. There's a number of genuinely funny moments in this, but as a whole, it's not a great Christmas film. So take that for what you will. You might get a kick out of it, just seeing David Hasselhoff the way he is. Yeah, and if you've seen Carolyn Ray do other stuff, she does a good sarcastic character, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tap it's not coming to my brain here as to what she was in. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, stuff like that. So yeah, all these. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but yeah. That's all I can really say about that. So, if you're a fan, go for it. Watch it. I don't expect it to be your favorite movie ever. It's sadly had a chance to not predictable. And it suddenly falls hard at the very end, where everybody's just asking for forgiveness. Even though the person who kind of went off the rails kind of had a reason to, I think, to a degree. That's debatable. Hey, you know what? You can have a Christmas debate on Christmas. If you don't want to fight about politics or religion, hey, guess what? Here's a movie you can argue about. Needlessly. All right. Tomorrow is the 1,500th episode of the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, 1,500, and we're going to take a break from Christmas, because I don't want it to be just another Christmas episode, and no Christmas episode necessarily fit the bill to be this milestone episode. It really didn't. And if it was going to be good enough, I was going to put it on Christmas anyway. And you'll see when I show you the actual Christmas episode, it will make sense. So, tomorrow, I'm going to do something I've never done before with this channel. Something I told myself I wouldn't do. Also, something I told myself I wouldn't do again. Tomorrow, it's all sharks. All the sharks on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you then.